Join the movement.
Veteran-approved gear, always ready for action.
M240 Machine Gun, the backbone of U.S. Army Firepower 1. Cinematic hook and battlefield context. The battlefield is never silent for long, even in the moments between engagements. There is tension in the air, a sense that violence may return without warning. In these environments, control of space matters more than speed, and dominance is not measured by a single shot, but by presence. Among the many tools designed to impose that presence, few have earned the reputation carried by the M240 Machine Gun. Its sound is not sharp or fleeting. It is deep, continuous, and unmistakable. When it speaks, the battlefield listens. Across deserts, mountains, forests, and urban corridors, the M240 has served as a stabilizing force in chaos. It is not a weapon of spectacle, but of endurance. Where lighter rifles come and go, and where precision systems operate at the margins, the M240 occupies the center of gravity. It shapes movement, halts advances, and defines the boundaries of engagement. Entire units orient themselves around where it is placed and how it supports them. This is not a story about speed or novelty. It is a story about reliability under pressure. About a machine designed not just to fire, but to persist minute after minute, hour after hour, when everything else is under strain. To understand the M240 is to understand how modern armies think about firepower, control, and survival on the battlefield. 2. Why this weapon was created. The M240 did not emerge from a desire to reinvent warfare. It was born from necessity, specifically the need for a general-purpose machine gun that could survive the realities of prolonged combat. During the Cold War and beyond, military planners recognized a recurring problem. Many machine guns performed well in ideal conditions, but struggled when exposed to dirt, heat, cold, and sustained use. The United States Army required a weapon that could bridge roles. It needed to function at the squad level while also integrating seamlessly into vehicles, defensive positions, and support roles. It had to be powerful enough to dominate open terrain, yet stable enough to be trusted near friendly forces. Above all, it had to work consistently, predictably, and without drama. Rather than pursuing an entirely new concept, the solution came from refinement. The M240's origins lie in a lineage of proven machine gun design philosophies that prioritized robustness over complexity. It reflects decades of global combat lessons, distilled into a system that favors mechanical tolerance and operational resilience. This was not about innovation for its own sake. It was about choosing what had already survived history and making it fit modern American doctrine. In that sense, the M240 is less a product of technological ambition and more a response to hard-earned experience. It exists because armies learned repeatedly that sustained firepower is not optional, it is foundational. 3. Design philosophy and engineering thinking. The engineering philosophy behind the M240 is rooted in one word: margin. Everything about its design assumes the worst dirty environments, extreme temperatures, exhausted soldiers, and extended engagements. Instead of pushing components to their absolute limits, the system is built with tolerance, allowing it to function even when conditions are far from ideal. This approach rejects fragility. The M240 is not designed to be lightweight or delicate. Its mass is intentional. Weight absorbs stress, stabilizes movement, and reduces the strain placed on individual components over time. Where lighter systems may heat quickly or lose consistency, the M240 is engineered to remain predictable. Another key aspect of its design thinking is consistency across roles. Whether mounted, positioned defensively, or carried with a unit, the weapon maintains the same core behavior. This predictability reduces cognitive load for soldiers, allowing them to focus on the situation rather than the system itself. In combat, simplicity is not about fewer parts, it is about fewer surprises. The result is a machine gun that feels conservative by modern standards, yet quietly sophisticated. Its intelligence lies not in electronics or automation, but in restraint. It is engineered to endure abuse, not impress on paper. That philosophy has kept it relevant for decades. 4. Fire rate, power, and control. Firepower is not just about how fast a weapon can fire. In a combat environment, true effectiveness comes from balance between output and control, between aggression and restraint. The M240 exemplifies this balance through a deliberate approach to sustained fire. Its firing behavior is designed to be manageable, not overwhelming. Rather than maximizing speed, it emphasizes rhythm. This allows fire to be applied continuously without rapidly destabilizing the system or the environment around it. Control is maintained not through complexity, but through predictability. Each burst behaves as expected, reinforcing confidence rather than demanding constant correction. Power, meanwhile, is expressed not as spectacle but as authority. The M240 projects force across space in a way that shapes decisions. It discourages movement, channels opponents into unfavorable positions, and buys time for maneuver. This is firepower's influence, not excess. What makes the M240 especially effective is how these qualities combine. Fire rate supports control. Power supports discipline. Together, they create a system that can dominate terrain without becoming chaotic. It does not overwhelm the battlefield, it organizes it. 5. Range, accuracy, and battlefield reach. The battlefield is not flat. It stretches outward in layers of distance, elevation, and visibility. A weapon's value is measured not only by what it can hit, but by what it can deny. The M240's strength lies in its ability to project influence far beyond immediate sightlines. Accuracy in this context is not about pinpoint precision. It is about consistency over distance. The M240 is designed to place fire where it is needed repeatedly across extended spaces. This creates a zone of control, an area where movement becomes costly and hesitation becomes dangerous. Range extends the psychological and tactical footprint of the weapon. It allows commanders to shape engagements before opponents come close. It protects vulnerable elements, secures avenues of approach, and reinforces defensive depth. In open terrain especially, this reach can define the entire engagement. What matters most is not the extreme limit of distance, but usable distance, the range at which the weapon remains effective, reliable, and trusted. In that domain, the M240 excels. It turns space itself into a defensive asset. 6. Attachments and modularity. Visual perspective. Modern battlefields are visually complex, and the M240 has evolved to reflect that reality. While its core remains unchanged, the way it integrates into the visual and tactical environment has adapted over time. Mounting options, sighting systems, and support configurations allow it to appear in multiple forms without altering its fundamental identity. Visually, this modularity communicates purpose. When mounted, it signals permanence and dominance. When positioned with a unit, it signals readiness and support. Each configuration tells a story about its role in that moment. Importantly, this adaptability is additive, not transformative. The M240 does not become something else when equipped differently, it remains itself. Modularity enhances clarity rather than introducing complexity. For soldiers and observers alike, the weapon remains instantly recognizable. This visual consistency reinforces trust. No matter how it is presented, the expectation remains the same: reliability, endurance, and authority. Soldier experience and battlefield role. For the soldiers who operate alongside it, the M240 is more than equipment, it is a reference point. Its presence changes how units move, plan, and react. It anchors formations and provides reassurance in uncertainty. There is a psychological comfort in knowing that a dependable system is nearby. The M240 does not demand constant attention. It does not surprise. It performs as expected, even when conditions degrade. This reliability allows soldiers to take calculated risks, knowing that support is available. Carrying or positioning such a system is not easy. It requires coordination, endurance, and discipline. But in return, it offers something rare in combat: stability. Many veterans describe it not as a weapon that wins battles alone, but as one that prevents battles from being lost. Its role is not heroic in the cinematic sense. It is foundational, quietly decisive, always present. 8. Psychological impact in combat weapons influence behavior long before they cause damage. The M240's psychological impact begins with recognition. Its sound, its sustained presence, and its ability to control space all contribute to a powerful mental effect. For opposing forces, it represents commitment. It signals that an area is defended not casually, but deliberately. Movement becomes hesitant, decisions slow, momentum fades. This psychological suppression can be as decisive as physical outcomes. For friendly forces, the effect is inverted. Confidence increases, coordination improves. The weapon's presence reinforces morale by reducing uncertainty. In combat, fear often comes from the unknown. The M240 replaces uncertainty with predictability. This dual psychological role, deterrent and reassurance, is one of the reasons it remains indispensable. It shapes the fight without always needing to dominate it. Strengths, limitations, and tactical reality. No system is perfect, and the M240 is no exception. Its greatest strengths, durability, power, and reach, come with trade-offs. Weight, logistical demands, and the need for coordination are realities that cannot be ignored. It is not a weapon of speed or individual action. It demands teamwork. Its effectiveness depends on placement, planning, and support. In environments where mobility is paramount, these factors must be carefully balanced. Yet these limitations are well understood, and that understanding is part of its success. The M240 is not misused because it is not misunderstood. It excels when employed within its intended role, and it remains reliable when others fail. Tactical reality favors honesty. The M240 endures because it makes no false promises. 10. Final reflection and legacy. The M240 machine gun is not defined by innovation cycles or rapid replacement. Its legacy is measured in continuity. Decade after decade, it has remained relevant because the problems it was designed to solve have not disappeared. Modern warfare evolves, but certain truths remain constant. Control of space matters. Sustained firepower matters. Reliability under stress matters. The M240 embodies these truths without embellishment. It is not a symbol of technological ambition, but of institutional wisdom. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful systems are not those that change the battlefield, but those that endure it. In that endurance, the M240 has earned its place as the backbone of U.S. Army firepower.